The next days felt different to Vittorio, not because his enemies had grown bolder or his power weaker, but because his sleep was broken by dreams he hadn't had in decades. Dreams of a boy abandoned, of hands that never reached out, of warmth that never came. And then something impossible happened. The little girl appeared again, this time outside one of his casinos, not begging, not afraid, simply returning the coat clean and folded, with a quiet, "Thank you, sir," that hit harder than any bullet ever could, because gratitude without fear was something Vittorio had never earned before. And as his men reached for their guns, he stopped them with a raised hand, realizing in that moment that fear had been the only language he ever spoke, and it had made him rich but empty, powerful but alone, and slowly, dangerously, he began to change. He funded shelters without attaching his name, protected neighborhoods instead of exploiting them, dismantled parts of his own empire piece by piece, knowing every step toward good put a target on his back, until the inevitable happened, and betrayal came from within. Bullets flying in a warehouse that once stored weapons but now held supplies for the poor, and as Vittorio lay bleeding on the cold floor, the last face he saw wasn't an enemy's. It was the girl's, standing at the doorway, eyes full of tears yet unafraid. And in that moment he smiled, because for the first time in his life, he understood that power was never about being feared, but about being remembered for kindness. And when the city woke the next morning to the news of the mafia boss's death, they also woke to schools, shelters, and safe streets he had secretly built. And people finally spoke his name out loud, not with fear, but with respect, because one small act, done without expecting anything in return, had changed not only his life, but the fate of an entire city.